Hello, I'm Contessa Brewer. Welcome to Caught on Camera. You see a crime unfolding before your very eyes. The lawbreakers are armed. So what do? Run for help? Call 911? Or would you try to stop the bad guys yourself? It's one thing to get involved if you're young and able, but in the story you're about to see, one of the unlikeliest of people says, "Not on my watch." Northampton, England. It's a bold and brash robbery in broad daylight as three sledgehammer-wielding thugs wail away at this jewelry storefront. And three getaway drivers on mopeds rev their engines. It appears no one can stop these helmeted hooligans from their brazen afternoon heist. That is, no one except for Super Granny.
I am exceedingly feisty. I know how to smack your hand if it's in the wrong place.
Her name is Ann Timson. And cloaked in red, flying down the street with the greatest of ease, the 71-year-old British granny vigilante decides to take justice into her own hands, beating the armed bandits with the only weapon she has, her handbag.
It was just instinct, and I'm just swinging my bag to the left and to the right. I was angry. I was angry that they did dare to do it in daylight like that.
She misses with her first few swings, but then, as the would-be thieves try to get away, one of the scooters topples over.
So I was able to whack him a number of times. I realised then he had a hammer in his hand, and we just eyeballed one another, I think, and he dropped it. I think he realised it was all over.
And not a moment too soon for Ann's 71-year-old arthritic legs. Onlookers pounce on the would-be robbers, holding them until police arrive. Now that Ann has a moment to think about what she just did, reality starts to set in.
Mad. Absolutely mad.
Ann was never scared, but does worry what one person will think about her actions.
I have to tell you, my first thought was, oh my God. What is my son going to say? I could have been hurt, I could have been killed.
So why did Ann decide to put herself in harm's way in the first place? Well, turns out it wasn't to stop a robbery. It's her maternal instinct and the thought of her son that mistakenly makes her jump into the fray in the first place.
I thought I saw one kid running to the shop doorway, which was the jeweller's, and three boys chasing him and giving him a beating. I could see their arms going, and I thought he was getting a beating.
Ann doesn't know it yet, but the boy isn't a victim in this incident at all. He's one of the robbers.
So I ambled up. I don't know about running, but I ambled up the street shouting, stop it, because that had been my kid. I wasn't going to let one take a beating from three. That's how I felt about it.
Then, as Ann approaches the men, furiously swinging sledgehammers, she quickly realizes the situation isn't what she thinks, that she just ran herself right into the middle of a daytime robbery. And that's when her anger takes over. But when Ann gets a better look at the man who threatened her only moments earlier, instantly her anger subsides.
The one boy I saw, and he was a boy, the 18-year-old I think he was, he looked terrified. It's silly, I felt sorry for him. This is the one who picked up his hammer to me, but I felt sorry for him because he looked terrified.
But Timson takes her pity only so far. She still feels the would-be robbers should be punished. 5 of the 6 men are caught, all pleading guilty to conspiracy to burglary. 2 are sentenced to 6 years, 8 months, 1 gets 5 years, and 2 of the would-be burglars are given 4-year sentences. 1 man is still at large, along with nearly $200,000 in Rolex and Cartier watches. But the granny vigilante has a different brand of justice in mind when she thinks about the robbers doing jail time.
The one thought I had that put a smile on my face was what sort of stick are these guys going to get in the prison when an old lady beat them up? I found that quite funny. Naughty boys.